Lavi we have going on right now, which we'll talk about. But she's a beast. You can just tell she rocks it at this business. She went double diamond last month, which I haven't looked at the income chart lately, but I'm pretty sure that's like what 6,000 American a month. Seven, maybe, I don't know, but she's killing it. And she earned $40,000 in bonuses last month. So I don't know about you guys, but when I hear people having success is very abundant and copy the right people. So Shannon, thank you for taking your time tonight to pour into our team. I would love if you could start with like your story, just how you found this business before the success, and then we'll just go through some questions.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much for having me on. It is always an honor when Jackie Gearing asks you to get on her Zoom. It's always so cool. So I started this business over 3 years ago. I was actually introduced to these products when I was pre-pregnancy, actually. And I got pregnant right after, so I didn't end up using them. We like moved across the country. I had my son. He was 10 months old, and I was at my heaviest weight. And I found the products in my cupboard, and I was just like desperate. I was like, I've never even used these. I don't even know really what they are. And I messaged the girl that I bought them from, and she was like, "You really shouldn't use those. They're like expired." And it was like the coffee, right? So I'm like, that has grass-fed butter in it. Maybe you shouldn't drink expired coffee, but I did anyways because we could not afford new products. Like we were super struggling. My husband was obviously the only one working at the time. My EI from maternity leave had already run out. I actually don't really have much background in like schooling either. Like I went to university for one semester. I never graduated college. I did that for 3 years too, and then didn't graduate. So like if I were to go get a minimum wage job, like that would have sucked and would have just paid for my son's daycare. So we could not afford the products. So I used the expired ones and lost 10 pounds my first month. And I remember messaging the girl being like, first of all, I want to tell everyone about this. And second of all, I need to figure out how to get more because I cannot do it myself. And that's when she kind of introduced the income opportunity. So I had done a different business before and failed miserably. I did not have a single customer. So my husband and I were actually really both turned off network marketing. We were like, no, it's not for me. My network is not into this. They just don't do it. But she was telling me about HAPS and how the marketing is different and you don't have to buy the products to like show to people and all these things. And I was like, okay, I feel like this is different. Like, I'm just going to go for it. And I think I signed up after about 2 weeks of thinking about it. And I said to her, can I even make $100? Like, that would be great if I could do $100. And once we got into the training and I jumped in and we were doing HAPS, I think my first customer came in my first 6 days, didn't know them. They were from a HAP, no idea. And then it rolled from there for me with HAPs. I always tell people my mom was like my 20th customer or something. So like I said, my network was not into this. I ended up going diamond in 3 months and earning my $15,000 bonus, which right now is 20. So guys, it's even more money. And then it just kind of escalated from there. We went all in. Like always think of Mark's speech where he was talking about cutting the rope. And that's kind of what we did because 5 months into the business, with my diamond bonus, we bought a brand new F-150. Without this business, we definitely could not have afforded that. So we were jumping right in. The following summer, we bought our brand new trailer. And right now we are currently building our dream house. We finally just got word that we got hydro. So hopefully it's going to be done soon. But it has just absolutely changed our lives. I cannot even imagine where we would be right now without it. And I know last year when we were first talking about building, I'm going to say averaging like the low end of a diamond pay. My daughter was only 3 months old. And so it was crazy. Oh yeah, I guess I had another kid in there too. in the business. My daughter's 18, 19 months now. But yeah, so she was only 3 months old, but we wanted to build this house. And I was like, it's fine. I can just earn more income. We just started these 401 bonuses. They're success bonuses. Like I can just earn more. I can do more. And we are going to get this house. We're going to build what we want. We are going to do it all. And so that's what I did. we went hard. We earned lots of success bonuses last year. Ended up being the number 97 income earner as a diamond, which was like mind blowing, but super cool because now what I always tell people is when they're like, oh, you're in MLM, like, no. And I'm like, well, like you can 100% make more money than the people that are above you. Like, it doesn't matter. We're not really a pyramid shape. We're way more of a tree. Sometimes branches get longer. Sometimes branches reach higher. And people seem to be pretty receptive to that lately. And I think it just makes sense. But yeah, so that's a little bit of my story.
Okay, dude, okay, first of all, that's so crazy that you're top 100 as a diamond. Like, that's
Mhm.
awesome, dude. And it's,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I feel like, guys, drop a one if you've been building in this business for longer than 6 months. Okay. So, like, I feel like we switched from success, like building for success bonuses,
Mhm.
to now, like, we're doing
Mhm.
both, which is awesome. So it's really awesome to see
Yes.
the promotions rolling in again, because I'm like,
Yes.
gosh. Also, I love
Mhm.
the tree thing. Who else,
Yes.
hearing people be like, oh, it's an MLM, it's a
Mhm.
pyramid scheme. I'm like, no, bro, like, your job is a pyramid scheme. Like, actually, like, you're never going to make more money than
Right.
your boss, but you
I
can come in
know.
and out earn anybody here. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So where do we start? I didn't even write down questions because I just knew we were going to like talk through this. So
We good.
success bonuses and Go Diamond,
Mhm.
obviously you're enrolling distributors and customers.
Mhm.
Let's start with customers. What are you doing
Mhm.
daily to bring them in? And like, what would you say to someone right now that's not enrolling
Mhm.
customers? Like, what are your non-negotiables? How do they tie together?
Mhm. So I don't really have like necessarily daily non-negotiables because I do things sometimes mostly in bulk because then it gets things rolling and you can kind of feel when you have a lull. And I am a happer. Like I will hap anywhere from 100 to 200 haps a month, every month. Mostly product now because my network is really, really large. In the beginning, I was doing like 75% giveaway haps. Like I think my network grew from about 800 people to hitting my 5,000 max in about a year and a half, right? And that was all giveaway haps like crazy. And then those people are seeing what's on your wall. So I would say my own product posts were getting more interaction as people are being brought in. People are more likely, I find, to accept your friend request when you add them from a app than just like a random ad. So better that way. And yeah, definitely organization and keeping track of everyone. I have a planner, which I started recently. Actually, it was just last summer that I started my planner, and it is just like phenomenal because then I can go back to 2 days ago and look, okay, who do I need to follow up with today? Okay, who else do I need to check in with? Yeah, lots and lots of product apps. I've always kind of been like, I guess, like a mass enroller. Like last month, I had 48 customers, but, and I mean, it ebbs and flows, like anywhere from like 20 to 40 usually. But it's all haps, 100%, like all haps, all haps. And so it's just going hard with those.
Okay, I'm getting a couple private messages. Can you take a second and explain like
Mhm.
the giveaway haps to someone that
Yeah.
maybe is like, I've only ever seen a product hap, and like why we do them?
Yeah. Yeah. So I know sometimes people call them two haps on steroids because they literally just go wild. It's like a wildfire. But it's basically getting other people to post about the cash giveaways that we do, not just doing a cash giveaway post on your own wall. So when you are getting them to post about it, then their friends are commenting and you're messaging their friends and asking them to post about it. And then they're posting. And then you're messaging their friends and asking them to post. And then they're posting. And it's just like craziness. So I would say when I'm going through, like I'll get up like 15 haps and then I'll be busy for a day or two messaging and going through all the comments and the conversations that I started. And then we'll go back and say, okay, now we need some more. So another bulk. Um, but yeah, so it's more like a monthly and I can kind of like judge it again. It's like the flow. If I feel like I'm not messaging anyone, I need some haps. If I feel like I'm so freaking busy that I'm messaging and having all these conversations, asking people for haps, talking to customers, that I don't put the pressure on myself to get up more because those conversations that you're having are very, very important as well. Um, yeah, yeah.
And then just out of curiosity for myself,
Hmm.
so when you get up a post, so say it's like, I
Hmm.
post for you and it's like my friend Shannon
Hmm.
giveaway, blah, blah, blah,
Hmm.
comment giveaway for an entry. Like, what does yours say?
Yeah, I honestly am doing a lot of the same posts that are on ours. So like I just changed like the ranch on salad. Like salad
Oh,
goes on or ranch goes on. You can't say salad. My friend Shannon is sending 4 friends cash on such and such a date. Like I'm literally straight up using the ones that we are posting. and
Okay,
just changing it.
I don't know why that just like blew my mind for some reason. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, and so
Right?
then
So I'm like, if they're working on our walls, they're gonna work on the
they're
other
working on
walls.
their walls.
Right?
Exactly. So okay,
Yes.
so now let's say you get okay, somebody puts the hap up, you save it to a collection,
Mhm.
you get a ton of comments. Are you
Mhm.
replying and adding them, or are you telling them to add you? Like, what's your next step?
Yeah. So I usually am liking. I Sometimes I'll reply if it's a product app. If it's a giveaway app that has like 100 comments, I don't usually reply because Facebook gets mad. But if it's a product app, I will also reply saying I'm messaging them. And then I will go and add them and message them. I am finding Facebook a little bit more testy with this lately than before, but you do have to be careful how many people you're messaging at a time that you're not friends with yet. So it will eventually block you. So again, I'm just like counting the number of people that I'm messaging at a time. I aim for like not more than 50 that I'm not friends with. And I mean, like if you have that many comments on your product apps, then you're probably about to have some conversation. So you can pause. That's the other thing. Like I always tell people when I do my haps in bulk, obviously I can't message every single hap like that same day. And that's okay. It hasn't affected anything. Like I can go back and message people like 3 days later. There's people that have said that they're going to post for me and they don't let me know. And when I go back and check in with them and say, hey, did you get that post up? And they're like, oh yeah, I posted that a week ago. And like, then you go and there's comments. So same thing, right? Those people are still replying back. So not to stress yourself out trying to reply to everyone at once.
So, like, let's say one
Mhm.
of them take off though, and you get 100 comments.
Mhm.
Like, are you?
Mhm.
So you're literally like, you're not replying to their comment. You're just going to their page, adding them as a friend. Then you're messaging them, and you're just saying like, "Hey, this is how you enter the giveaway. Post for me again." And so this is so smart. And you guys, like, can you put a yes in the chat? You have less than 500 friends on Facebook right now. Just put a yes, drop it in. Or live if you're on the team page, a yes.
Mhm.
Does anybody have less than 500 friends? Because if you do, this is genius, right? Because you're going to grow it so
Mhm.
fast.
Yes.
So you should do this as well.
And the other thing is like when I message people for my own giveaway posts, I have it all in one message, like what they have to do, because I'm like, people know what I'm doing. They know I'm going to message them. They know I have to do. But when they message on giveaway haps, I message them like as if they were commenting on a product app. I just let them know, hey, thanks for the comment. You want an entry? And I leave it at that. I wait for them to come back and say, yes, we want an entry or whatever. And then I tell them, okay, this is how you get the entry. So I find you'll often get more friend accepts that way too, because they haven't actually seen the message of what they have to do and they've probably accepted it.
Dang, that's actually really smart.
Mhm.
That's actually genius. It's kind of like how we used to say, hey, remember we used to say like, hey, I have a question. I'm not asking you to buy or sell anything.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
curiosity kills the cat. They're like, what's the question? You're like, well, thank you for
Exactly.
asking. I'll just get you in my thing. I love that. Okay, so
Right.
now
That's exactly.
let's talk distributors. So how are you
Yes.
enrolling so many distributors?
I literally randomly message people all day long. Like they're all from cold messages. I just am scrolling my page and finding people that I think are going to be fantastic at this. It's actually so funny. I was telling my team. So I kind of rotate between messages. Last year I had a message that worked really well. This year seems to be a different message that's working because there's people that are coming back on my page and I click on their name and I'm like, oh man, I sent them the like random distributor message like last July. I'm like, I'm going to message them again. And I sent them like my new message and they answered. So you never know. And that's like where they say that people's lives change every 6 months, right? Every 6 months, they need something different. So people that I messaged last July, it's now April. Their lives are different. They probably need income. Things change for them. And yeah, and then I kind of take them through what we do. I don't send voice notes unless they're asking like questions that are not part of my explanation. Like if they're just like, yes, sounds good. Then I'm just kind of explaining what we do. Okay, this is it works. We have all this stuff. We don't have to have inventory, none of that stuff. And I tell them a little bit of my story also in that first section. I'm like, I joined to make $100. It's exploded so much more than that. We have like our F-150, our trailer. We're now building our house. And now I'm teaching other people how to do that. Does that interest you? Right. And I'm helping my team do the same. But obviously, if you're new, you can't say, I have all this stuff that the business has given me. But you can say, I'm currently paying like a few bills with my income from this business because I just started. And my goal is to feed my family's groceries every single month. You know, put a goal in there for them to say, oh yeah, that could be my goal too. Wait, that business can do that for me, right? And the whole thing is helping them to see what the business can do for them. I always say, like, we have boxes on our charts. We do. And we have to like think about that, but you can't go into the conversations with the mindset that you have to fill your boxes. It's not going to go well. If you make it about you and what they are going to do for you, it's not going to go well. You have to make it about what you have to offer them and what they need.
Yes, I agree. That's so good.
Mhm.
And can you like share kind of what your message sounds like? Like how are you proposing
Mhm.
this to people?
Like the random message that I'm sending right now,
Yeah, like
let me
the
pop it in the chat.
oh, you're the best. Thank you.
Mm,
And guys,
Thank you, boards.
I just want to ask you, like, I know there's going to be a lot of you that
Mhm.
go, like, take this message and, like, but also understand that it's not just the message, it's like what she does on her page. You know what I mean? So it's not the
Yes.
message that does the work. It's that they're like, oh, there's Shannon. She's
Mhm.
you doing her business. Like, people will take this
Mhm.
message seriously when you show them that you're
Mhm.
serious about your business. So, um,
Yeah.
okay, so let's maybe can you speak on like the mindset
Mhm.
of messaging, because I feel like there's a
Mhm.
lot of people that are like, oh, well, I messaged everybody once and everyone said no, so it's not for me. Like,
Mhm.
can you explain like the like the pathway of messaging,
Yeah.
if you will? You get what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. And I would even say, like, if you go into messaging with the mindset that, oh, I'm just uselessly doing this, like all these people are just going to say no anyways, like this is a waste of time, I guarantee you that all those people are going to say no. If you went into that with a different mindset, saying like, people are going to say yes, people are happy for me today, someone is saying yes for my follow-up, I am signing a customer today, like that whole mindset is different. Like, it just shifts everything that you have going on, your vibe. I don't know how people get a vibe through Messenger, but they do. 100% they do. Like, they can feel your personality. They can feel the things that are on your page, even too, right? Things that you've written. And I would just keep going. And obviously, you need to get some giveaway apps. If someone comes to me and says, okay, I messaged every single person on my friend list and everyone didn't answer or said no, I'm like, then we need to grow your network, girl. Because if you message all those people and they didn't answer you, then that is not a great network to be in. So time to jump ship and get out some giveaway apps, go add some random people, join some Facebook groups, interact with people, build those relationships. And I do find it too, when people first start their business, their friends think they've been hacked. This is a very common theme I found. And I've had screenshots of people being like, you need to tell me like, what's my sister's middle name or something to like prove that they weren't hacked. And it's like, okay, I totally understand that. So I'm like, so this is where, even when you're brand new, you need to show your face on your page. You need to show your face on your page. I have girls that have been in the business for a while and they're finally doing lives. Like, I feel like we're like finally getting there. That it's like, okay, you need to show your face. People need to see you don't have to have a perfect thing. Like, I can't even tell you how many times my kids show up in my lives and there are screaming kids in the background and TV shows and who knows what's happening. But that just makes it that much more real for people to visualize themselves doing what you are doing. It's not the perfect moment to sit down, the perfect like quietness. That doesn't happen. Not around here, anyways.
Yeah, amen to that. And I think people just appreciate real people, you guys. Like, I
Mhm.
feel we see this on every Zoom, but be just as you are. Like, you look
Mhm.
awesome, take a bunch of pictures and show up. You look like
Yeah.
crazy, show up, like, because it's relatable.
Mhm.
Okay, now I feel like the foundation of this business, as much as
Mhm.
messaging is so important, it's also
Mhm.
what you put on your page to attract people
Mhm.
to you. How would
Mhm.
you coach a new person to like what how would you tell someone to post to like get results?
Mhm. So we definitely teach like a variety of posts. So actually, part of everything that has happened is I've definitely been working on my leadership, and I think that that is something that has kind of propelled us to where we are and promoting. But I have team chat, and I have one leader has a day of the week. And they post the tasks for everyone that day. So they're all kind of responsible, right? They're all taking part, they're all invested. And what I do though is I create a calendar and I let them know this day you're going to do a gummy story. I don't care, go find one. but it kind of, and then it rotates and keeps things all different, right? Because when someone different is doing it every day, you kind of want that rotation. So we do like a rotation of lifestyle posts, right? Which is nothing to do with the business necessarily, something inspirational, positive. Opportunity posts you need to have in there, letting people know about the opportunity. Product posts. I usually only post once a day, once a day on Facebook. Very recently, I'm going to say in like maybe the middle of March, I started posting 2 or 3 times, trying to do like more of a quote in the morning, and then more of a call to action in the middle of the day. And then sometimes I got later. This is when I was really, really consistent with my reels. So those ended up in there too. And then month end craziness happened and we got to get back into it. But yeah, and then I always have people to go through their page and take off everything that they have shared. I hate that share button so much. It just destroys your algorithm. And I always tell people, like, if you find something you want to share, we still want you to be you, right? We don't want you to be some robotic thing that doesn't have a brain. So you want to take what that is and either one, post it as your own, which is fine, or you could throw it in your story. You're still sharing it with your followers, you're still putting it out there, but it's better for your algorithm. And then we try to teach just like a rotation. So you don't have product post, product post, product post, product post. And I also really try to post not like spammy product posts. Like if it's pictures of product, it needs to go in your story. It does not need to go on your wall. On your wall are like maybe you holding a coffee cup. The results posts have been really, really great lately. Pictures of gummies, not of the bottle, things like that.
Yeah, no, that's really smart. And then you're saying like, so if you're posting less on your wall and kind of more curiosity, your story is the spot where you're like hitting them and like doing like the right hook
Yeah.
kind of. So talk about like your story strategy, because I just want to
Mhm.
make sure people understand it's not like, oh, never
Mhm.
post and you're going to sign 40 customers. Like, how are you doing? Like, what are you doing in your stories every day?
Yeah. So, and again, it's always like at least one post a day. So I'm in there, storefronts open. And then the haps, right? Haps are from customers. So again, I get like a few customers from posts, like maybe 15%. Like not very many from posts. Most of them are haps. But story, I call it like a sandwich. So I always post something that is non-business, something that is going to entice people to click on your story. Because if it is a picture of product, they are not clicking on it and they are not watching it. So you always want the first one to be something random. Then you can put all your product stuff together. Again, you want to have something non-businessy right after as well. And then you could do like an opportunity one if you want, and again, something else non-businessy. So it's kind of like a sandwich of spreading it out, because people are going to watch your story for the stuff that is the non-business. Like I can 100% tell you that. But it's like that Instagram ad where you're like scrolling on Instagram. It doesn't deter you from scrolling on Instagram when you see ads. You're going to keep scrolling. And when someone knows that there's other stuff in your story besides the product stuff, they're going to watch it every single time to get to the other stuff that is in your story. It's like you're like promising them something, right? If you watch through this, then you're going to get something better after. And it takes between 7 and 21 times of seeing something before someone decides that they want it. So you want them to watch your product stories constantly over and over and over and over.
It's so true. It is so true. And
Mhm.
I like what you said about it's just like the sandwich, like,
Mhm.
give the value outside of it. And you guys, like, if I
Mhm.
don't overcomplicate it, like, don't be like, oh, my life isn't interesting. You
Mhm.
just think your life isn't interesting because it's your life. Like,
Mhm.
people are nosy. Those people don't create on social media, right? Most people
Mhm.
consume. And so when
Mhm.
you can just be out there, people are like watching you 100%.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk about like the build to double. I feel like, guys,
Mhm.
drop it in the chat. 7,000 a month. Like anybody else, like I would like 7,000 a month. Like,
Yeah, right?
I don't know, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so tell us about, like, I feel like when you go to rank
Mhm.
up, especially double diamond, that's
Mhm.
not just falling in your lap. Tell us
Right.
about what made you decide to go for it.
Mhm.
What did you have to implement to make it happen? And like just tell us about your journey to building to that rank.
Mhm. Yeah. So to paint everyone's picture here, so I went diamond in May of 2020. Okay, so that's almost 3 years ago. And it was since the month after that that I have been working towards double. So I am a red yellow. So very like hard worker, like go, 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 focused, goal focused, going, going. And it's just been a journey. And that's all that I can say. And I kept learning that like I had to level up before and so that I was ready to reach the next level. You can't get to the next level if you don't level yourself up to get there. And definitely like there was a lot of life stuff that happened. Like I had 2 miscarriages and we had my daughter and things were happening, but team were still kind of working. They were bouncing in and out. I was mostly maintaining by volume. I was not like the ranks kind of dropped off. And then it was kind of as people started coming in, I honestly, even last year, it was very like, okay, I need to make this money for my family. Let's go. We're going to earn success bonuses. We're going to push, da da da. And a lot of times I was taught that you have to have like 50% for your own business and like 50% for your team. So I kind of have changed that perspective a lot. And I would say a lot of my like 75% is on my team and making sure what they're doing is working and coaching calls and more oriented around them because I was like, my team is my business. There was honestly a huge shift at Winter Wonderland. That's kind of the first time that I really got together with other leaders and we just like my brain was like gonna explode after that weekend. It was amazing. Like all the talks, like Krista and from Courtney, they were amazing and picking their brains and what they're doing and how they're building and leading and different things that they can do. So actually, myself and Dana, we created an event for our team called the Rank Up Retreat, which is happening this month. And anyone that ranked up between January and the end of March is coming to our retreat. So we decided to work as a team kind of to give all the people that completed their own 4-in-1s into a group. And then anyone in that group that ranked up was able to come. And I think just putting that out there inspired so many people to be part of, yes, Dana Lynn, I just saw her comment pop up. She's coming to our retreat. So that's exciting. To be part of the people that were running harder than a lot of the people in the team page that are just like creeping and like not really doing anything. So to be part of that like fire that was going, and yeah, and then I started listening to Craig Groeschel. I don't know if you've ever heard, he does a leadership podcast. He is fantastic. Like, I feel like I say quotes from him like all the time. I'm going to say my 2 favorite ones. It was like, so you need to ask yourself 2 questions before you make a decision. It's like, can you do something? Probably yes. But should you do something? That's like the key question. And so many things in my business too. It's like, okay, can I do that? Probably. Should I agree to do that? Maybe not. Too busy. I need to focus on my team. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this for my kids. And another thing was that you need to schedule the important or else the urgent takes over. So that was kind of a really, really big one for us. We started scheduling in like different appointments that we had, making sure that my husband had time to go to the gym and making sure that we did this and that. And then I realized that I brought that into my business too, because a lot of times my inbox is just like exploding. And I'm like, oh my God, urgent. Who needs help first? Who do I need to prioritize? Da, da, da. And it was like, okay, I need to do the important stuff first and then get back to all of the urgent things. And then it's teaching like your team similar. And I also learned run with the runners. I feel like that was a big takeaway from Winter Wonderland. Because a lot of what I was doing was like, oh, why am I going to help so-and-so? Because like they're doing it. Like I'm going to go over here on this side of my chart where they're not really working so that I can fill volume and hopefully like they're my other leg to promote or whatever. And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. You're going to be like filling boxes till you're blue in the face. So run with the runners was like, okay, my leaders that were working, I was like, hey, you sign a distributor and I will give one to you. Let's do this together. Let's focus. You tell your team, you sign a customer, I'll move one under you. Let's do it together, and I think just that feeling of support from your leadership makes a big difference in the morale and everything coming together. And I think too, it depends on like signing. Like I will say I had a couple really fantastic girls start get going again, come back in, and they kind of skyrocketed. So I always say like my like rank is double diamond, but it's really like our team is double diamond. Like I would never be double diamond without them, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's amazing. All these people coming together, and we're really a family. Just the community and the culture and the atmosphere. And then, something else that was kind of fun. So in March, March, I think I told everyone, March was like a crazy month. I started two different things. So we started a mindset challenge in our group page, and everyone had to listen to some sort of podcast or read a book or something every single day. So I feel like maybe before that, I wasn't emphasizing how important mindset is. And I called it a mindset challenge instead of personal development, because I was like, that personally makes me feel like I'm not good enough. Like, so instead, no, it's like you're growing your mind, you're fixing your mindset. It's not that you're not good enough already as you are, but you can grow and get better. So we did that. A lot of people got into it that had never done mindset or personal development before. And I also started more of like the relationship, and I think making people feel important. Like there's so much when you are trying to work on your own business that you're like run like blinders on, just going. But you have to remember these are people that we're working with. And it's so nice after COVID. Like I was able to bring me and a few girls down for conference down in Florida, which was fantastic. It was amazing for them. And then two, right now what I'm doing is I'm in Ontario, and my team has spread out all the way from like Windsor, which is the very, very southwest part, all the way up to like Ottawa. So like we are like everywhere. And I was like, I'm going to say 90 to 95% of my team I've never even met in person. Like it is entirely social media, Facebook. So I am currently going like city to city to go meet up with everyone and meet them finally. And I feel like that also changed some of the morale. Like, wait, she's going to drive where to come see us? Like we're like that important to her? Like, and it was like, yes, you are. You are. But maybe it just wasn't like always shown or known. And a lot of times too, like what we are doing ourselves is like hidden. So I definitely tried to tell people more what I was doing. It's gonna sound so silly, but like growing up, I was very, very good at school, did well in school. And I used to get teased for it all the time, like all the time. So when I have an achievement, I almost want to like hide it. Like I'm like, no, nobody look, it's okay. It's just happening over here. Don't mind me. But I had to let myself like take it in, let myself have people congratulate me, let it be okay, and show my team what I'm doing to get there. Like, yes, I'm signing customers. So every time I sign a customer, I'm also shouting it out, right? It doesn't just like happen at like the snap of the fingers, even though that's what other people see, right, from the outside. And it's just letting that all in. I feel like I also got a lot more vulnerable with my team and like letting them know. Again, I have like big, big walls. But February was a very, very hard month for us. We lost my granny, and I had a really, really tough 2 weeks. Like, I don't think I answered messages for 2 weeks in February. And then we had a family trip to Florida, and it was just like crazy coming back. And I kind of shared that with my team. So I think for them to see like, oh, Shannon's going through like similar things that we're going through. She's not like got it all together all the time. She's not, perfect. Another thing that Craig Groeschel always says is people would rather follow a leader who is always real than always right. So it's important that you are like showing up as yourself, showing your struggles to your team too, saying, look, I sent 30 messages today and everyone ignored me. I know you guys are all feeling the same way. Happens to me too. It's not just you. And that these are normal things to expect in your business. And people just don't know what they don't know. Like I have so many newbies come in and they sign like 2 customers and they're like, oh, I suck at this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like 2 customers, that's amazing. Like you're a freaking rock star. Like you just don't know until you're in it. And it's just kind of reinforcing that. I've had a lot more coaching calls, I would say, with people like face to face. Like again, like prior to Winter Wonderland, probably didn't really do coaching calls, didn't meet up with people, we kind of went over like what maybe their charts looked like. And that was it. But definitely building those relationships, 100% building those relationships.
That's so good. I love everything that you said, dude. Like this is so good. So when you're saying coaching calls, like what, so like walk us through those. Are you just doing like a 20-minute one-on-one? What are you going over? Like, how do those go for you?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the person. I actually just got off one before we got on here. I was like, okay, we got to go through here. But so I let them get on and first off, ask me any questions. And often it's like, okay, well, what are you struggling with? How are HAPs going? How's adding going? How many met friend requests did you send today? How many people did you invite for the opportunity today? And I'll give them specific challenges. So like the teammate that I was talking to today, she is working on her 2.0 tier 2. She's very, very new. And I said to her, okay, so your challenge for the next couple of days is to ask 10 people about the opportunity until his 30-day mark. And I think she has 10 more days. So I'm like, okay, so that should be like 100 asks. So I was like, so that's a great challenge. I do introduce them to charting at that point too. I show them an executive chart. I feel like executive is just like ignored, but executive is so important. I had watched another Zoom with Jenica. I do not know what her last name is, but she was talking about building baby executives everywhere. Baby executive, baby executive, baby executive. And I was like, that's genius. Because then like they sign one more and it's like, oh, all of a sudden you're boxed for Ruby. And team is just exploding. So I always show them the executive chart, show them how to hit that. Like, okay, look, you already have a distributor. You only need one more and go from there. And then I also show them a Ruby chart. So that's obviously like a brand new distributor coming in. When I get on coaching calls with my leaders, it's kind of like, okay, who's working? Who is going to be like where on your chart this month? Who maybe needs to be replaced? Where are the first 3 distributors that you signed going on your chart? Where do we need to be signing volume and now moving it? Thank you that we can move volume again. Right? Yes. I can't even tell you. Yeah. Being like I said, like I signed quite a few customers. So you cannot even imagine my personal volume. And I was like, this is so stupid. I do not need this much personal volume.
No,
Very
I
silly.
didn't see what are you doing.
Yeah. Okay. Finley wants to make a surprise hello. Do you want to say hi?
Oh,
Okay. Can you go back with Daddy? Thank you.
They're not there.
Oh, he's not. Okay. Can you sit down? It's like close to his bedtime.
this has been so good. I'm like, is anybody so inspired by this? Like, I know my chat's kind of blowing up right now. They're like, my leaders chat's like, this is so good. Like, this is so good. So okay, you know what? I want to ask you this question because I feel like we have people on our team going through this right now. And I feel like,
Yes.
like, it's just good to hear from someone else. Have you ever had someone on your chart leave and like, you know, someone
Yes.
quit your business and like, are you okay? Like, are you still here? Like, you're good? How do you get through?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I can tell you that every single person on my chart from when I first went diamond, besides my husband, is gone, never even renewed. Every single person. And I always remind myself that we can only do, and like I have to do this too when people block me. I'm like, that is not my issue. There is nothing that I did that caused this. That is on them. And I can't let it bring me down. So like even when I'm blocked, I like can't let that make me feel bad. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. It's their issue that they didn't want to say no or like whatever. It's so hard. I think you need to give yourself that time to grieve because you are going to grieve. Like if you're trying to go diamond and the girl that you wanted to go emerald leaves, that's going to be rough. Like not going to lie, it is. But you need to give yourself that half of a day. So this is like the time that you're grieving needs to be, and then you kind of need to put it away and say, okay, regroup. Now what are we doing? Because we don't want to build these people for them, right? This is back to that like run with the runners. Okay, so who else on your team is working right now? If there's no one else working, okay, we need to sign some like fresh people to keep going, right? And remembering too that there is no set timeline to hit a goal. Like I said, like I was working for double since I went diamond. So that took me almost 3 years. Even though I went to diamond in 3 months, it took me 3 years to hit double. And there is nothing wrong with that because everyone has their own time. Something else that I've heard before is like, just because someone else has something before you does not mean that you're not going to get it. It just isn't your time yet. It just hasn't come to you. And it doesn't mean that it won't. It just isn't there. You just have to keep going or else you will never get there. So definitely just building them back up. And again, I am very like goal, like refocus, what's next, what can we change, what's happening in your chart now. So like redirection.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love how you just, it's just very real. Like the reality is like not everyone's going to come with you. Like I have come to the full conclusion that I will be the longest person on my team doing this business. Right. And there is going to be ups, there is going to be downs. Like, you know, people are going to quit on you, but it's crazy to think like, you know, you said, I've been working on double since after you went diamond and you went diamond and you said 3 months, right? Whenever you started.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think about like, I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years. So I think about it's like everything that would have happened between now and then. And then I'm like, do you think she cares about that now that she just earned $40,000 in bonuses? No. Like, and I just got to say, I'm just going to like say this because I just feel like someone needs to hear it. You should want to be so good at this industry that you know, no matter which company you're at, you can kill it. Because at the end of the day, it's you. But remembering that the hustle is the same everywhere you go. You know, and so to see it through, like, man, most people can't do anything for 5 minutes, let alone, you know, years. And like, look at this huge, this is life changing. Like, it's just great to think. Okay. I've got one more question for you. Unless anybody has questions, throw it in the chat. But I know it's late where you are. So,
it's all good.
I just want to ask you, like, if you could give, this is probably, I feel like that's too basic of a question. Okay. Well, my question was going to be, if you had to tell people like, do this every day, no matter what, non-negotiable, these 5 or 6 things, and I can bet you make money, what would they be? Obviously, HAP.
Yeah. HAP. Following up, posting, story, team check-ins. Nope, that would be it. Those are the 5. Team check-ins, posting, stories, following up, HAPs.
Dude, I love this. Okay, and I actually have one more question because I want to end it with this. What's next for you? What's your next? What are you looking for?
So we are shooting for the stars this month. And so actually last month when I went double, it was a re-rank on my husband's account to diamond. So this month we are shooting for over $100,000 Canadian in bonus, because if I go triple and my husband's account goes double, that is what we are running for.
Dude, that is crazy. Is anybody
mind-blowing?
Like, holy crap. That's okay. Well,
yeah. And let me tell you that like after I did my charting, we have a lot of work to do to get there. But I'm like not going to get in my feels about it. I'm not going to be like, no, it's too far away. It's not happening. I'll be like, let's go. We're going till the end of the month.
Dude, I love that. And you know what, you guys, like, I just admire you so much because you should have big goals. Like if your goals don't scare you, like your goals literally are not big enough. And it's just like, you know, it's like that saying, reach for the stars, you're going to land among the moon or whatever the
yes.
The other way around.
I shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
I had a 50% chance that I was going to get that right, and I messed it up. But like, you know, you're closer than you would have been, right? And I think of everyone that doesn't set a goal because they're scared to miss it. And dude, I'm cheering you on. You have been, I'm so proud.
Yes.
You're amazing.
And remember too that like everyone doubts themselves, but you have to push it back. You can't let it take over, and keep going forwards.
So true. Okay, one more last question. Sorry, leave us with a book recommendation. What book would you say to someone that's maybe doubting?
See, I'm like not a book reader. If you are really, really new, I liked You Are a Badass and Girl Wash Your Face. Those are kind of the 2 books that I read. Right now I'm doing podcasts because I listen to them when I'm driving my son to daycare. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You got to multitask. And like I said, I'm really, really loving the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast. I've listened to probably over 50 of his episodes. And I listen to Ashley Mayfield's podcast as well. Whenever I feel like I need like a boost, like a confidence boost, I listen to Ashley. And then on the days when I'm already feeling kind of good, I'm like, okay, let's develop some leadership today. So find something that you need to work on.
Dude. This has been so good. I admire you so much, and I know we're all cheering you on. And guys, she's going to be in Jamaica, so go ahead and get yourself some points. You can hang out with Shannon in Jamaica because I'm trying to hang out with Shannon in Jamaica too. Okay.
Oh, we will. It's
gonna
be a party.
Round 2.
All right. Well,
This has been awesome. Thank you guys for taking the time to come on. We'll put this on YouTube right now. So just I'll upload it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Jackie.
Thank you for coming on.
Have a great
Bye,
night,
guys.
everyone.
Good night.